Well, hello everybody. This is Daniel with Daniel's Bullion Coins, and I have my sweet wife Ingrid here.
Good morning.
And we're going to talk about the wonderful Thanksgiving that we hope everybody had.
Yes.
Got plenty of turkey, got stuffed.
Ate too much.
Ate too much, ate way too much, but we had a good time. We went, saw family, and did that, and we hope
Yeah.
everybody else did and had a good time. We're thankful for all that we have.
We're such a blessed nation. Pray we can stay that way.
That's the truth, yes. We live in the greatest nation in history, and we live in the greatest nation and opportunity in history.
Yeah.
So get out and make the most of the opportunity that you're given.
Yes, that's right.
So let's do the week in review.
Okay, darling, go ahead. Tell us about it.
So the week in review, so we have just a couple of days this week, and it's continuing to be right down the middle as far as buyers and sellers. We're buying numerically the same amount that we're selling. It's pretty close. Yeah. It's still pretty close. We're having to have real good sales in order to get it to be right down the middle. We're doing rounds and bars still $1 below spot. We have some proof 90% at spot, and we've got some 90% at $5 below spot, no date 90%. And we're going to do Gold Eagles $50 below spot on the Gold Eagles right now. So there's some good buys for you. Come on by. We're not going to be here on Saturday or Sunday, but Monday you can still get those deals.
Yes. I'll be here Monday.
Yes, Ingrid will be managing the shop on Monday, so come by and see her.
Yay. Okay. Well, what's going on with silver this week? It's crazy.
Yes. The week has really shot up. I think it was 48 or 49 coming in on Sunday night, and now it's 56 something, which most of that gain, that's the highest, that's a record high, you're right.
High.
Most of that gain was on Friday midday, sometime Friday, when everybody was still recovering from turkey. The CME actually went into what's called contango.
Now CME, break it down.
Okay, that is the COMEX.
COMEX, yeah.
And everybody who's in the gold and silver business and is watching the price of silver and predicting this triple-digit run that we're going to see, it has been talking about and looking at the fact that the market is going to collapse because the supply is going to disappear.
Yeah.
And what we had was everybody was running when it hit $50. The melters got overrun with inventory.
Yeah,
and now you've got everybody holding back their inventory. Even we as a dealer, other YouTubers, they're all holding back to not turn it in as much as possible to keep the inventories are as low as possible, which I am saying that's going to produce a swing where the price, they're going to run out of inventory, run out of stuff to melt and meet the demand, and then the price would start to run higher. And earlier, I didn't know if it was going to be a week or 2 weeks. We still may be looking at January. But there was a hiccup in the system on Friday, and we won't know if it's a full-blown fever, a full-blown sickness in the system until we get into next week. But what's happening is London, which provides Europe all of its, all the banks, all the countries that are stocking up on silver, that comes out of London, and the Eastern Bloc, all of the Eastern nations, they're drawing it from the CME, the COMEX. And they're drawing it from the London, the 1,000-ounce bars. All the banks, all the countries that we've talked about are drawing silver out. Well, London went to the COMEX and said, just started drawing these 1,000-ounce bars out, and the COMEX ran out, it looks like, because they started raising the price.
Right.
Contango, a whole $1 plus, over $1 higher then the LBMA was at their spot price. So the banksters are getting caught with the supply being drained.
Right.
So the actual supply is disappearing, which causes this contango price jump.
So
and
contango.
It was right.
What's the contango?
Contango is when you are $1 higher at the COMEX here in the United States, and it's $1 lower. There's $1 difference in the LBMA.
Okay.
So that's when you start to see the breakdown in the system. It sends red sirens and red flags to the point where the CME actually had to close their market. They had to actually stop the sales. Now they claim that it was a overheating glitch, but the only market that they closed was silver, and it was an extremely low volume day because it was Thanksgiving weekend.
Right.
So to say that the system was overheated is just not true, because all the other operations from that same computer system continued to go, but the silver market was closed. And it's because they saw the price running away and they didn't want a complete collapse. They wanted everybody to have the weekend to cool down and start taking profits.
So I asked you a question at home. I said, I said, someone is not wanting the price of silver to go higher.
Right.
Someone is sitting on it and even though there's a high demand. And you said it was the banksters.
Yes, the
Yeah.
banksters are the ones that are holding the price
holding
down.
it, yeah.
Right, they are manipulating the price down. That's clear as can be. We've
Yeah.
talked about all the different ways that they're manipulating the price down, and it's clear to see right now by them their drastic efforts to actually close
Yeah.
the market and stop the sales. Now, this has happened before in other metals. Nickel is the most recent one. And when they turned the market back on, it went up 300 to 400%. And we're up 80% on silver for the year. So no other stock, no other anything has gone up 80% here recently
Right.
like silver has. And we're saying that the situation is dire as far as demand and supply.
Right.
And what happens is the price goes higher. And so the demand is just exponentially high right now. We've talked about the shortfalls. We've talked about how narrow the market is. So we have to really, we don't want to sound the alarm, but we want to tell everybody to watch what happens next
Right.
week, because the price could run to 65 really, really quickly. And like I've said before, you're not going to see below $50 again for silver, and you're not going to see below 4,000 for gold again.
Now, do you think the banksters are going to be able to step in and do anything again?
Yes, there are still things that they can do. And one of the biggest tricks that they have in their toolbox of tricks is to change the margin. They can change the margin and require people to sell, because they'll say you can't have 10% cash in now, or you have to have 15% cash or 20% cash. And what that does is that triggers everybody's to sell, especially if they're full
Really
of
leveraged.
turkey and stuffing and they're not watching
Yeah.
their stocks. They can change the margin. And sometimes we don't find out about those changes in the margins until a few days later. Those guys find out instantly because they're forced to sell,
Right.
which drives the price down. And that trick has been done 2 major times in our history. Back in the 80s on the Hunt Brothers, they changed the margin, which drove the price down
Yeah.
thousands of percent. And then same thing in 2011, they changed the margin and drove the price way down.
So they could do that again.
Yes, they could do that again, but what will happen is the supply is going to continue to be drawn out.
Right. There's a lower and lower supply.
Right. So the stronger hands, the weaker hands will be flushed out by the margin calls, but stronger hands will continue to stay in the market and will continue to buy, knowing that the demand is real, that people that understand and have looked at all the 5 pillars that we talk about, the 5 100% reasons that the price of silver is going to go higher. The people that can grasp all of that in their heads, they're the ones that are going to say, I will pay the margin increase and I will buy more silver.
Right.
Because these other countries, these Eastern Bloc countries, these the European countries
Right.
are stocking up in a major
Well,
way.
India, we talked about that before, how they
Yes, they're up
It's-
500% in their purchasing this year.
And they asked, we talked about this last time, how they asked the LBMA for silver, and they said, nope, don't have it. Now
Right.
LBMA is asking COMEX, and I said, nope, we don't.
Well, the LBMA was getting it from the COMEX to help
Yeah.
fill the
Right.
Indies order, but and these other countries. You know, we're using India as an example, but yes, their demand is
China,
up.
too.
China, and of course they're locking their doors on supplying any silver to the LBMA and for refining.
Right.
And the retail market here in the U.S. does not dictate the price of silver. Like we talked last week, how it's going to be really, really quiet retail-wise here in the States because of Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. We just think that that's why we're having the sales in order to get
Your
people
retail
in.
of gold and silver, not everything
Yeah,
else.
we're talking just retail
gold
gold
and
and
silver.
silver, not the antique business.
Right, right.
They're not interested. They're right now they're doing
Right.
Christmas gifts,
Of
they're
course,
doing
yeah.
vacations, and they're actually selling their gold and
'cause
silver.
they need the money. Yeah.
Right, to do presents and to do vacation time, they're selling their gold and silver. So the retail market here in the U.S. is not an indicator for what's happening with the price of silver.
Right.
What's happening is all these other countries are getting rid of the dollar, they're getting away from the dollar, and you can see that in the demand and how we are demanding 200 to 300 million ounces each year more
Yeah.
than's dug out of the ground and
Wow.
refined.
Wow.
We're falling short. And that's a total of 1 billion ounces in the last 5 years that we have fallen short. So
Yeah.
everybody who's in the gold and silver stacking realm, they're very familiar with the fact that one day the COMEX is going to run out of silver.
Right.
And it looks like we're very, very close. And this big swing that we took over the last month or so, where the refiners were backed up,
Right.
I think is gonna have a huge effect because there was a huge amount of silver that came into the refiners.
Right.
The refiners caught up, but now nobody's bringing silver into the refiners. All of the weak hands at $50 have cleared out. The dealers aren't taking inventory in because they don't want to wait 30 days for their money. So we're seeing a big drawdown
Yeah.
in the recycling of silver.
Right.
So as the COMEX realizes that the recyclers aren't there, which they are 20% of the market,
Wow.
they're losing. I think they're going to lose 20% of the market because the recyclers aren't going to be there,
Oh.
and so they're going to have to go back and rely on the doré, which comes from the mines. And the mines are taking vacations and breaks, and they slow down for Thanksgiving and Christmas in January. So they're seeing a drawdown. So
Yeah,
this
true.
could be interesting to see how it plays out all the way through January. But silver's over $56 an ounce, and that's just here at the Kitco price. You
Right.
start to look at Contango, and it's much higher.
Where can we find that?
Well, that's kind of one of the things that analysis people watch.
Oh, I see.
And we'll keep an eye on that for you and let you know, because Contango can happen.
Sounds like a dance.
Yes, it is a dance because it's Contango, and it's when it goes the other way, it's backwardation. It's called backwardation.
Okay.
And right now we're in Contango, where they are willing, like I said last week, they will start to pay more for silver than the spot price. I believe it'll go to $1, maybe $2 over spot to get the silver.
Good
That's
grief.
coming, and I don't know if it's going to be in the next couple of weeks or months or the first part of January, but we're going to see where you come into us and you want to sell, and we're paying $1 or $2 over spot. Right now, we're significantly under spot, but I
Yeah.
think that's changing this weekend.
Wow, but there's nothing to stop though the bank or the whoever to do the margin calls.
Right.
It's almost like you've got to be just
Yes.
look at it every hour of every day to see what's
Well, you have
happening.
to have strong hands, and you don't want to be in that margin. You don't want to be
Right.
on margin.
And you don't want to be in the market on paper anyway.
Right, you don't, right.
We don't
Well, you're
recommend
right.
that.
If you're in the market and you're on paper, you've got a lot of risk. You've got the risk of bankruptcy. The company,
Yeah.
hedge fund
The hedge
that you're
fund
with
manager,
could go
yeah.
bankrupt. The dollar is devaluing all the time. What good is the silver if you've got to convert it back into dollars? All these other problems.
Right.
So it goes back to if you don't hold it, you don't,
Don't
own it. So,
That's right.
We're not giving financial advice. We're not telling you what to do. But for us, we are diversified. We're diversified out. And that way, whichever way things go, you're covered, because the scenarios nobody knows. Nobody, you
Right.
can dream up all kinds of scenarios.
Yeah.
Be diversified. That's what we do. We're not giving financial advice. We're just giving
Right.
our opinion.
Yeah.
We hope everybody had a wonderful time.
Yes.
Look forward to seeing you. We're closed today. We're not going to be here today and tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, but Monday we'll be back with deals. Come on
Yeah.
by and see Ingrid. Bless you.
Blessings,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Bye bye.